Okay, folks, welcome to a What's Trending on StockTwit update. We're going to go over the symbols UGAZ and Shopify. One up, one down today. Before we go to the charts, if I could ask you to please follow me on StockTwits, Twitter, YouTube, leave a comment, share with a friend. Let's get to the charts. Okay, we're going to kick things off with the UGAZ. I'm going to look at a monthly chart first. We are halfway through the month, so now it becomes a real serious chart to pay attention to as we wind down the month of April, if you could believe that already. And you can see that we are probing to new all-time closing lows on UGAZ. The prior low was 28.85. We were as low as 26.34. And the problem is we just closed above it. But can we recover? Sure. Monthly chart, several trading days left to go. But this is a problem. We're putting in new all-time lows. So when we use multi-period charts, like the monthly chart, and in this case, a leveraged ETF, which doesn't have a lot of history behind it, what do we do to help guide us to where we may find a bottom on the UGAZ? What you need to do is go over to either the spot price of nat gas, or you can just simply pull up the UNG, use the monthly chart of it, and you can see that we may trend down to the lows last seen back in, well, first let's stop here. The lows of April 2018, the low was 21.78. That's on the UNG, not the UGAZ. If that fails to hold, we come down here to 20.40. So rather than using the UGAZ, which now has no historical support below, I would prefer that you used the UNG, which gives you some historical data to help guide you to where there may be a defensive support levels, because they both trade in tandem. And you can see the UNG has broken down below key support, as has the UGAZ. Now, taking a look at the UGAZ on a daily basis, the probability of lower lows is quite high, because what we have here was a breakout on the 8th out of this triangle formation, and that breakout has failed. We have a breakout point failure. So the probability of us putting in lower lows on natural gas is pretty good. Our stochastics are rolling over, never ever good when you're down below the 50 level. We have lower highs getting put in. We're in a downtrend channel on RSI. So clearly the momentum is to the downside. Volume today is very high. So what you read into this volume bar is that you have institutional distribution of natural gas. And when you go and you take a look at the daily chart of UNG, it as well followed suit, same price action as UGAZ. We have broken down below key support. In all probability, we are heading lower. We do have some support at 2273. We'll see whether that holds. We may see defense from 2273 down to 2260 on the UNG. If that breaks out, we're coming down here to the 2191 level. Let's go over to Shopify. Now, here's what I had to say about Shopify several weeks ago during one of my commentaries. Okay, so Shopify last week, it was clearly a continuation move higher play. The week of March the 4th, we had pulled back. We held the 180 level. Last week, we got a continuation move higher. I think that these shares will probably continue to move higher as well. I remain bullish. We had good volume last week. MACD histogram continues to press higher. I will caution that we did close out the week above the 2 standard deviation Bollinger Band. So relative to that Bollinger Band, we're a bit extended here. So I wouldn't be the least bit surprised to see a bit of a pause, sideways price action, and then a resumption of the uptrend. And looking at a daily chart, you could see that on Friday, we had an inside day. This is a bit of a concern. So I'm a little bit cautious on a daily basis on Shopify. We may just get a pullback here, an orderly pullback, and then perhaps a resumption of the uptrend. So we're still watching Shopify. I'm not as bullish as I was last weekend. I mean, come on. It rallied 8.5% last week, so I think that we made a good call last week, and we may just need to digest some of those gains. Okay, so that was from Best Stock Charts, which I posted on Saturday, March the 16th. And this is where we had closed out the week. And I mentioned on that commentary that we were a bit extended relative to the second standard deviation Bollinger Band. No reason to go selling your shares, but expect a sideways consolidation, which is exactly what happened. We formed a bull flag setup, and then we broke out. Now, it appears as though, in all probability, that we are going to head higher here on Shopify on a weekly basis. We have a new weekly high. Our Stokes are stalling out here a little bit, so just keep an eye on them. RSI still rising, and I will caution, we're getting lower highs on the MACD. I don't use the lines per se, fast line, slow line on the MACD. I use the histogram, and when I see lower highs on the histogram, that gives me a little bit of pause for concern. Would I go selling my shares based upon that observation? No. The path of least resistance is clearly still to the upside. We had a nice consolidation here on a weekly basis. Now, if the market comes under pressure, you may want to look to lighten up a bit. Daily chart. Now, on a daily chart, you could see that we have broken out, as we illustrated on the weekly chart, above the 210.10 level. We did close out the day leaning into the third standard deviation Bollinger Band in red. So that would imply that we're going to get a pause, perhaps a bias to the downside for a day or so. But that's a healthy thing if you want this rally to continue. As I did mention, we have a new weekly high. Volume today was very good. So this is what you want to see. This is the kind of volume you want to see. Rising up volume. That implies they have institutional accumulation. So Shopify looks good, a bit extended on a daily basis, but net, we remain bullish on the shares. And that, folks, is tonight's What's Trending on StockTwits. And if you get any value out of these videos, please click the link below in the description area, or if you're watching this on the blog, to get Bob's 5 most powerful candlestick patterns. That's a 5-part video tutorial. And everybody have a profitable trading day tomorrow. Be well.